According to British Petroleum, or BP, if the rate of extraction remains stable, the oil industry will only last for 53 more years. This is devastating news for the U.S., as we are the largest importer of foreign oil in the entire world. Many of you may already know that the oil in the U.S. that the U.S. depends upon is largely obtained outside U.S. borders. However, what you may not know is that reducing our oil consumption is easier than you may think. The topic of foreign oil sparked my interest after hearing many people bring up the subject around me. At the beginning of this project, I knew very little about the topic of foreign oil consumption in the U.S. However, after careful research, I feel now both confident and capable to discuss the U.S.'s involvement in foreign oil usage. Not only is the use of foreign oil not a source of renewable energy, it is also actually hurting the U.S. in a multitude of ways. The benefits of using foreign oil do not outweigh the consequences. With these thoughts in mind, I intend to leave you with a foundation to start reducing your own oil consumption today. As previously mentioned, oil is not a renewable source of energy. This is directly because we are using it faster than it can be created. Yet the reliance on a non-renewable source of energy is not the only environmental problem that using oil as one of our main sources of energy has. Over the past 2 decades, roughly 3/4 of carbon dioxide emissions caused by humans can be linked to fossil fuel usage. These emissions cause greenhouse gases and contribute to global warming. As global warming progresses, more natural disasters will occur that have the potential to endanger Americans and everyone else. Foreign oil consumption is a large contributor to our country's debt. The amount of money that the U.S. spends on foreign oil makes up half of our trade deficit, which according to the current census is approximately negative $500,000. In 2009, the U.S. spent $1 billion a day on foreign oil instead of investing that money back into our economy. Most of our foreign oil is purchased from countries that do not have stable governments. This is important to note because these governments rely upon our oil purchases to sustain their economies, and yet those governments may have unfavorable views of American politics. The U.S. imports oil from 10 countries currently on the State Department's travel warning list. What this means is that our government trades and sustains economies for countries that our government does not feel are safe for Americans to travel to. Many of these countries already understand how dependent the U.S. has become on oil use. This knowledge gives those countries leverage against the U.S. and ultimately threatens our national security. As our need for oil increases, so does the power that these countries have over us in order to sell us their oil. An example would be when Iran's supreme leader commented, if the Americans make a wrong move towards Iran, the shipment of energy will definitely face danger, and the Americans would not be able to protect energy supply in the region. Foreign oil does have some benefits, minimal as they may be. The use of foreign oil allows the U.S. to maintain a global military. This is seen as beneficial to some. The global militarization allows our country to remain powerful overseas. Another benefit of importing oil is that it is not taxed as much as it would be if produced here, which is due to global trade agreements. Also, many corporations have billions tied into the oil industry, and if that industry suffers, so do those corporations. Although oil may not be a sustainable source of energy, nevertheless, it is a source of energy that our country relies upon. 40% of the U.S.'s energy needs are met by using oil of some kind. Despite those small advantages of foreign oil, the U.S. is still being held hostage by its addiction to foreign oil. The U.S.'s dependency on oil has begun to decline. The Harvard Model Congress describes one way in which this has become possible, and that is that the Democrats want to decrease subsidies for oil companies and fund growth of jobs in the clean energy sector, transferring money Transferring this money would help spur technological research in energy technology. The U.S. Congress also believes that supporting American production would stimulate the economy and create more jobs. Many new industries have already been founded with clean energy in mind. Many ways in which you can help further this change include purchasing products that are not petroleum based, using power that doesn't rely on fossil fuels, like installing solar panels in your house, and driving a more energy efficient vehicle. The U.S. has plans to increase the corporate average fuel economy standards on new motor vehicles to 35 miles per gallon by 2020, which will make purchasing energy efficient vehicles easier in the near future. However, the U.S. currently supports many hybrid vehicles that are already available than using oil-based vehicles alone. The less you drive, the less our country is reliant upon foreign oil. You may say that you need your car to get around. One car won't make a difference. And yet 20 pounds of CO2 are produced from each non-ethanol using vehicle per gallon of fuel. Additionally, the U.S. is so vast that the majority of our goods are distributed via semi-trucks traveling cross-country, making those emissions unavoidable. One way to combat this would be to purchase locally in order to reduce the amount of cross-country distribution needs. The U.S.'s dependency on foreign oil is destructive as it is unsustainable. It is contributing to our national debt, is quickening global warming, and is holding us hostage towards unfriendly global relations. The benefits do not outweigh the costs. While keeping large corporations afloat is good for job security, it would be equally beneficial to create new jobs within a clean energy industry. It is never too late to turn this problem around. Take a quick look at your life. Are you a part of the problem? Could you downsize your car or use alternative transportation methods? Simple steps are all it takes to create a better tomorrow. There is no better time to create a better world for those who live here now and for those who will live here in the future. Ultimately, the world is in our hands. Do you want to be a part of the problem or a part of the solution? As John Shadegg once said, if the United States is to protect itself from economic and political threats created by this excessive dependence, we must reduce our reliance on foreign energy sources and on foreign oil as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Thank you.